Walking from the moon if you don't get your editing right, because when they knock.
Ooh, that sounded like the honeymooners. One of these days, Alice. All right.
What are you doing?
This is my new bougie coffee grinder from Cuisinart. What I asked for my birthday, and I received it. So you put your beans inside this, and it holds 8 ounces of beans. Then you also have your coarseness here. Mine is set to medium, but it goes all the way to coarse and then fine, of course, depending on what you're doing, what type of coffee maker you're using. Fine would be like espresso, more towards the coarse side would be like a percolator, that kind of thing. It also has your little cup. You can see I've been using mine. This is where your grounds will go when you decide what you would like. So on the top of it, it has the number of cups. And I have mine set for that. I have mine set at about 10 cups because I like it quite strong, even though I usually only do about 8 cups of coffee. So you hit the start button and it's going to grind. Now, this is not a whisper quiet step, but it does work. Here I go. Okay, so it is done.
Yes.
I usually like to tap it just a little bit, just to make sure that all the grinds have come from the top of the lid. And there you see it. And I am able to just put this amount in my coffee filter because I know it is the amount that I need.
All right, so we've had this little coffee grinder. Well, I shouldn't say little. We've had this coffee grinder for, what, 2 or 3 months now?
Since my birthday.
So a month, 2 months. 2 months. And one of the things that kind of occurs to me is, why did you buy this big one, this size, versus one of the smaller sizes? What was your thought process?
So I requested this coffee grinder as a gift for my birthday. I used to have a standard coffee grinder, which I have since rehomed to my mother. So if you are familiar with the standard coffee grinder, they're usually about so large and about so big around. And the cup that you put your beans in is about this large. So it will hold probably maybe maximum a half a cup of whole beans. So there are 2 reasons why I did not want to do that. The first reason is that it only holds a half a cup of beans. And if I am making a pot of coffee for CJ and myself, that requires more than 1 pass of the coffee grinder. So I would have to grind a half a cup of beans, put it in my filter, come back and do it again in order to get the amount of coffee that I want.
How many cups of coffee do you make for us a day?
Between 8 and 10. So nearly a full pot. So now if you were an individual that's only making coffee for yourself, like pour over or something like that, then probably a regular size coffee grinder would be great. But for us, because I'm making a large pot of coffee for us to enjoy multiple cups between the 2 of us, I need more coffee ground at once. Secondly, I have never been very good at grinding coffee. I know how I want my coffee to look and to taste with the coffee grounds. But with a standard coffee grinder, you are the grinder. Zzz, zzz, zzz. maybe there are people, and I'm sure there probably are, very intentional people who know exactly how many pulses it takes to get their grinds to the consistency they like. I'm not one of those individuals. So with a coffee grinder like this, I tell it how I want my coffee. That's what this dial is for. It goes all the way to fine to coarse. So if you're drinking all the way down to espresso or all the way up to pour over or something else that would require a very coarse grind, you have the option to do that. I'm also able to grind my beans all the way up to 12 cups in this. The cup here will make 12 cups worth of coffee grounds at one time. So then all I have to do is push the amount of grounds I want. It does it for me in the grind that I have set. All I have to do is then push the button, and when it's finished, take it out of the cup, put it in my filter. That's why I like it.
And you've been using this at least once a day.
Yes.
And
I generally will grind my beans at night, because one of the reasons for us to get an old-fashioned, I say old-fashioned, a brew coffee pot, the one that we have is actually dual, where we'll do pods or it will also do a pot of coffee. One of the reasons for doing that was because CJ wanted to wake up to coffee. He gets up earlier than I do during the week to go out to his office and start work before I get up with our girls to help them get ready for school. So he wanted to wake up to a cup of coffee, and a standard pot is programmable to do that. So I will usually grind our beans at night, and it's kind of a cathartic experience because it makes the kitchen smell good. It makes you want coffee at night, and it makes you look forward to drinking your coffee the next day because it smells good. The beans are fresh. So that's one of the benefits of grinding your coffee yourself, is because you know your beans are fresh.
so do you think we've saved any money by grinding them ourselves versus, well, I know we saved money by not using as many pods.
Okay, so your standard pod, a very good price for a pod is usually about 25 cents a pod. Anywhere between 25 and 50 cents a pod is your standard amount for pods. So that is a singular cup of coffee. So 4 cups of coffee is $1. So I can buy an entire, almost 3-pound bag of whole beans for about $13. So yes, it is a better deal. Definitely than doing pods. And of course there's waste. You know, there's a lot of people who talk about the waste and the microplastics and all the other reasons not to do pods, but one of them is definitely the waste. Even if you try and recycle it, it is still a waste versus just using beans, and then the only thing that you have left is your paper filter, which breaks down a whole lot easier than those pods. So yeah, you save money. You also benefit yourself in the long run as far as waste.
Thanks.